We've got now with us, joining us on this broadcast, Maria Mezentseva, MP from Ukraine, is joining us live from Kiev. Maria, thank you for joining us here on India Today. I hope you're safe. Our prayers are with you and the people of Ukraine at this extremely difficult time. First off, if you could tell us what's really playing out in Ukraine, particularly in Kiev. Sitting here in India, we're getting in a number of reports of explosions, of blasts being heard in the capital as well.
Around 5 a.m. I was awake, just to, I'm sorry, but to fulfill my natural needs, let's put it this way.
Sure.
It was a coincidence that I was awake because in a couple of minutes we have heard in central Kiev something which sounded like two blow-ups, massive ones. And then it began again with a repetition in around 20 minutes. The same happened more or less, I cannot say for sure, but from what we are getting from the media, the same happened in the eastern city of almost 2 million people, second largest city in the east of Ukraine, in Kharkiv. What we are seeing from the targets which are being analyzed right now by the military, these are the targets of the military spots. Let's say military airport next to Kharkiv, the airport of the main airport in Kiev, and a smaller one closer to the center of Kiev. People are panicking, but we're trying to be in touch and trying to calm everyone a little bit down, because panic never helps anyone. We have already the confirmed information that, from the Russian sources, that Putin decided to invade further than the occupied parts of the occupied territories of Lugansk and Donetsk, but we don't see the movements yet. There's bombings or shellings, whatever we call it. Quite recently, there was a statement from the secretary of a speaker of the National Security Council of Ukraine, chaired by the President Zelensky, who will be having surely possibly the change in the status from the emergency, from the state of emergency, which we were talking with you around 8 hours ago from Ukrainian parliament, to the martial law. That would all depend on the decision by the National Security Council of Ukraine, which is about to start shortly. We know that there are no victims yet, and let it be like that. We understand that Putin has crossed the last red line. We are seeing the reactions from the US, from the EU, from the Secretary General of the NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, and we are expecting an immediate reaction, not something, which might come gradually as it was happening for the last 48 hours. We remain calm. Our colleagues are getting from homes to their working places. Most of us slept 2-3 hours, but we will stand for Ukraine, and our army is strong. So we still, I think Putin will still try to find a dialogue, but we were ready for a peaceful and fair dialogue for all these 8 years, and it never happened, because all the platforms that were existing on a trilateral contact group in the form of where OSCE is mediating the both sides, Ukraine and the representatives of the so-called republics, never worked out well until the very end. You remember Minsk protocol, which also never brought ceasefire from that side. We were keeping ceasefire up until today, and we understand that the army is there to defend our citizens on the ground as well. So the administrations which are working locally are there in the cities, towns and regions to provide security at a higher alert. Also, National Police, Security Service of Ukraine, and everyone who are in the system of security and defense are at the highest alarm.
Maria, you sent out a very, very important message asking citizens not to panic, to stay calm. Any advisory from the government? Because I'm sure a lot of locals right now will be trying to leave Ukraine as soon as possible.
That is not, I don't think leaving Ukraine, for instance, by planes would be possible because the airport in Kharkiv, for instance, is blocked from my information, from the open sources information. Both airports in Kiev are blocked. So I don't think the core wish of Ukrainians would be leaving the country, maybe transferring from one region to another at most, because some have small kids, some have elderly relatives, even animals. That would be a massive movement, and I am receiving with this regard already some news that the the petrol stations, for instance, in Kharkiv have a queue for like an hour or two to get the petrol because the cars have to be with full gasoline. That's just some bits we are receiving from the regions, but we still try to go live on Ukrainian social media and TV stations to say that we are here, we are not sleeping, we stand with Ukrainian people, and we will react accordingly to the threat we are now facing. And the whole world is watching at Ukraine. And what is Putin doing with us right now? No one will forgive him this, nor the collective or West as it's viewed, nor Ukrainians. I think the people of India are seeing what the so-called partner is doing. So I really hope that he will stop at some point for a room for negotiations. He will try to, reach out to the government, because we did reach out to him. President Zelensky, at his speech yesterday, addressed even in his 10-minute speech for around 8 minutes, he addressed the people of Russia to so that they can hear we are defending ourselves. We're not attacking, as it is shown in the Russian media. The Putin is trying to show us not as a victim of his regime and of his attack. He is now compared to Hitler of 21st century, and whichever terrible historical names we might recall. And we are defending ourselves, and this is our position. We were not attacking at any point.
Maria, I want your reaction also. I'm sure you've heard what the Russian president has said. He's also appealed to Ukrainian forces to lay down their arms to ensure minimum casualties. Is that something that the government, the administration would consider?
We have to wait. Well, he was claiming all this crazy stuff about what we have to do to deliver to him so that he stops. But this is just unacceptable. It means that we have to stand still and just wait until the Russian army would invade. I'm sure that is his biggest wish, possibly, to invade the whole country. But we were standing for 8 years due to the fact that we have a strong army now supported by very modern weapons. We don't want to use them. This is not our person. But we have to defend ourselves. We have to defend our land and our people. I'm sure we will have more information straight after the Security Council of Ukraine meeting.
Maria, stay safe. As I mentioned, the people of India, we're all praying for you and for all Ukrainian safety. We really appreciate you joining us here on India Today. And we will continue, of course, offering all possible support that we can to you as well as the people of Ukraine. Thank you very much, Maria, for speaking to us here on India Today.